Welcome to Dreamy Tales, your bedtime haven. Prepare to embark on a journey of tranquility and relaxation. I'm here to weave enchanting stories that will gently guide you into a restful night's sleep. Subscribe and let the soothing whispers of Dreamy Tales be your nightly companion. Percy, the Pig's Mud Puddle. Mayhem, a Tale of Friendship and Mess. Chapter 1. Percy's Puddle Predicament. Percy the pig trotted through the forest, his hooves crunching softly against the carpet of fallen leaves. The sun dipped low in the sky, casting a warm glow through the trees. As Percy rounded a bend in the path, his keen nose caught a tantalizing scent carried on the breeze. Curiosity piqued. He followed the aroma until he stumbled upon a clearing bathed in golden light. There, nestled among the trees, lay a large, inviting mud puddle. Its surface rippled with every gentle breeze, beckoning Percy closer with a siren song of squelches and squishes. With a delighted squeal, Percy dashed forward, his excitement mounting with each step. "Wow, what a splendid mud puddle!" Percy exclaimed, his eyes wide with wonder. But as Percy drew nearer, his joy turned to trepidation. The mud puddle seemed to stretch on forever, its depths unfathomable to the eye. Hesitating only for a moment, Percy took a deep breath and plunged headfirst into the muck. Squelch! The mud enveloped Percy in its thick embrace, swallowing him whole with a satisfying slurp. For a moment, Percy reveled in the sensation of being surrounded by warm, squishy mud. But as the minutes stretched on and the sun dipped lower in the sky, Percy's excitement began to wane. "Oh dear," Percy muttered, his voice muffled by the mud. "I seem to be stuck." Struggling against the sticky embrace of the mud, Percy wriggled and squirmed, but to no avail. With a heavy heart, he realized that he was well and truly trapped. Just then, a cheerful quack echoed through the clearing, drawing Percy's attention. Turning his head as much as he could, Percy spotted a plucky duck waddling towards him, her feathers ruffled by the breeze. "Hello there," the duck chirped, her beady eyes twinkling with mischief. "What's a pig like you doing in a muddy mess like this?" Percy chuckled weakly, relieved to see a friendly face. "I seem to have gotten myself into a bit of a pickle," he admitted sheepishly. "I'm Percy, by the way. And you are?" The duck puffed out her chest proudly. "I'm Daisy," she declared. "And don't you worry, Percy. I'll help you out of this muddy predicament in no time." With renewed hope in his heart, Percy watched as Daisy waddled closer, her webbed feet leaving tiny imprints in the soft earth. Together, they would tackle this muddy mess and emerge victorious, forging a friendship as strong as the bonds of the forest itself. Chapter 2. Splashy Surprises and Muddy Mishaps. Daisy the duck approached the edge of the mud puddle, her feathers ruffling with determination. With a graceful leap, she landed at Percy's side, her webbed feet sinking into the mud with a satisfying squelch. "All right, Percy, here's the plan," Daisy quacked, her voice brimming with confidence. "On the count of 3, we'll both give a big push, and hopefully we can free you from this muddy trap." Percy nodded eagerly, his heart racing with anticipation. "Sounds like a plan, Daisy. Let's do this." With synchronized precision, Percy and Daisy braced themselves for action. "1, 2, 3, push!" Daisy commanded, her voice echoing through the clearing. With all their might, Percy and Daisy pushed against the thick mud. their muscles straining with effort. For a moment, it seemed as though Percy might break free, but then disaster struck. With a loud squelch, Percy slipped backward, sending a cascade of mud splattering into the air. "Oh no!" Percy cried, his voice tinged with dismay. "I'm still stuck." Daisy clucked sympathetically, her eyes scanning the muddy landscape for a solution. "Don't worry, Percy. We'll think of something," she reassured him. "Let's try a different approach." Determined to succeed, Percy and Daisy brainstormed new ideas, each more creative than the last. They tried pulling, pushing, and even twisting, but nothing seemed to budge Percy from his muddy prison. As the sun dipped lower in the sky and the shadows grew long, Percy's spirits began to flag. "I'm starting to think we'll never get out of here," he lamented, his voice heavy with defeat. But Daisy refused to give up hope. "Nonsense, Percy. We'll find a way out of this mess, you'll see," she declared, her eyes sparkling with determination. With renewed vigor, Percy and Daisy redoubled their efforts, determined to overcome any obstacle in their path. Little did they know that their greatest adventure was only just beginning, and that true friendship would be their greatest weapon against the muddy mayhem that lay ahead. Chapter 3: The Great Mud Mess-Up. As Percy and Daisy brainstormed new strategies to free Percy from the mud puddle, a mischievous squirrel named Sammy scampered into the clearing, his bushy tail twitching with excitement. "Hey there, what's all the commotion about?" Sammy chittered, his eyes darting from Percy to Daisy and back again. Percy sighed heavily, his spirits sinking with each passing moment. "I'm stuck in this mud puddle, Sammy, and try as we might, we can't seem to find a way out," he explained, his voice tinged with frustration. Sammy's eyes widened in surprise, and then he burst into peals of laughter. "Well, well, well, isn't this a sight to behold?" he chuckled, his laughter echoing through the clearing. Daisy bristled at Sammy's teasing tone, her feathers fluffed up in indignation. "This is no laughing matter, Sammy. Percy needs our help, not our mockery," she scolded, her voice stern. Sammy's laughter died down, and he glanced sheepishly at Percy. "Sorry about that, Percy. I didn't mean to make light of your situation," he apologized, his cheeks flushing with embarrassment. Percy waved off Sammy's apology with a weary smile. "It's all right, Sammy. I know you meant no harm," he reassured the squirrel, his heart warmed by his friend's support. With Sammy's help, Percy and Daisy tried a new approach to free Percy from the mud puddle. They tied vines to Percy's legs and pulled with all their might, hoping to dislodge him from the sticky muck. But despite their best efforts, Percy remained firmly entrenched in the mud. As the sun dipped lower in the sky and darkness descended upon the forest, Percy felt a pang of despair grip his heart. "I'm starting to lose hope, Daisy," he admitted, his voice tinged with sadness. But Daisy refused to give up on her friend. "Don't you worry, Percy. We'll find a way to get you out of this mess, no matter what it takes," she vowed, her eyes shining with determination. And so, with the night stretching out before them and the stars twinkling overhead, Percy, Daisy, and Sammy resolved to continue their quest to free Percy from the mud puddle, knowing that together they could overcome any obstacle that stood in their way. Chapter 4: Friendship in the Muck. As night descended upon the forest, Percy, Daisy, and Sammy huddled together near the edge of the mud puddle, their spirits flagging with exhaustion. The moon cast a soft glow over the clearing, illuminating their weary faces as they pondered their next move. "I don't know how much longer I can hold on," Percy murmured, his voice barely above a whisper. "I'm so tired, and the mud seems to be getting stickier by the minute." Daisy nodded in understanding, her eyes reflecting the weariness etched on Percy's face. "I know, Percy, but we can't give up now. We've come too far to turn back," she insisted, her voice filled with determination. Sammy chewed nervously on an acorn, his thoughts racing as he searched for a solution to their predicament. "Maybe we could try digging around Percy to loosen the mud," he suggested tentatively, his eyes darting from Percy to Daisy and back again. Percy's eyes lit up with hope at Sammy's suggestion. "That just might work, Sammy. Let's give it a try," he exclaimed, his voice tinged with excitement. With renewed determination, the trio set to work, digging around Percy, their paws and beaks working in harmony as they scooped away piles of mud. Slowly but surely, they began to make progress, the mud loosening its grip on Percy's legs with each passing moment. But just as they were on the verge of success, disaster struck once again. With a loud squelch, Percy slipped further into the mud, his body sinking deeper into the muck. "Oh no, Percy," Daisy cried, her heart sinking with despair. "We were so close." But Percy refused to give up hope. "Don't worry, Daisy. We'll find a way out of this mess, no matter what it takes," he vowed, his eyes shining with determination. And so, with the night stretching out before them and the stars twinkling overhead, Percy, Daisy, and Sammy resolved to continue their quest to free Percy from the mud puddle, knowing that together they could overcome any obstacle that stood in their way. Chapter 5. Cleaning Up and Making Memories. As dawn broke over the forest, a ray of golden sunlight pierced through the trees, casting a warm glow over the clearing where Percy, Daisy, and Sammy had spent the night. The trio stirred from their slumber, their bodies stiff and sore from their efforts to free Percy from the mud puddle. With a yawn, Percy stretched his limbs and glanced around the clearing, his eyes widening in surprise. "Look, everyone! The sun is rising!" he exclaimed, his voice filled with wonder. Daisy smiled warmly at Percy, her heart swelling with pride. "Yes, Percy, and with the dawn comes a new day filled with endless possibilities," she declared, her voice tinged with excitement. Sammy nodded in agreement, his eyes sparkling with anticipation. "Let's make the most of it, shall we?" he suggested, his voice brimming with enthusiasm. And so, with renewed energy coursing through their veins, Percy, Daisy, and Sammy set to work once more, determined to free Percy from the mud puddle once and for all. With each scoop of mud and every tug of a vine, they drew closer to their goal, their spirits buoyed by the knowledge that they were in this together. And then, at long last, it happened. With a final, mighty heave, Percy broke free from the mud puddle, his body soaring into the air with a triumphant squeal. Daisy and Sammy cheered with delight, their hearts overflowing with joy at their friend's newfound freedom. As Percy landed on solid ground, he turned to his friends with a grateful smile. "Thank you, Daisy. Thank you, Sammy. I couldn't have done it without you," he said, his voice filled with emotion. Daisy beamed at Percy, her eyes shimmering with pride. "You're welcome, Percy. After all, That's what friends are for, she replied, her voice soft with affection. With the ordeal finally behind them, Percy, Daisy, and Sammy set to work, cleaning themselves up, their laughter echoing through the clearing as they splashed in a nearby stream and shook off the last traces of mud from their fur and feathers. As the sun rose higher in the sky and the forest came alive with the sounds of birdsong and rustling leaves, Percy, Daisy, and Sammy knew that they had forged a bond that would last a lifetime. And as they set off on new adventures together, they carried with them the memories of their muddy escapade and the enduring power of friendship that had seen them through even the stickiest of situations. As the stars twinkle above, it's time for dreamy tales to bid you good night. May the soothing echoes of our stories linger in your dreams, offering you a serene escape. Until we meet again under the moonlit sky, sleep tight and sweet dreams.